Manhood, brought to you in part by Solomon's Bespoke.
My son was a good boy, words of a mother. As he's laying down on the asphalt, bleeding out on the corner, she's calling on Jesus' name, asking why did they kill him. My son was a gentle soul, he never do nobody nothing, then a man should.
Welcome to yet another episode of Manhood, and today's topic is justice. Now, justice for you, justice for me, it's justice. That's what we're here to talk about. We talk about the levels of crime here in Trinidad and Tobago, but justice is another key aspect of that. So we always like to say we're better as brothers, and again, saying that we are not speaking on behalf of all men, but we are speaking to all men and women, of course. And so without further ado, let's get straight into it. To my right, behavior change consultant, Johanse IODK, not a psychiatrist, a behavior change consultant. Let's get that right. To his right, the Anthony LaFleur. I know I had to say a government name first, and then we'll go into Squeezy ranking.
People.
So Squeezy, the man of the moment.
Trinidad and Tobago. You say the man of the moment.
The man of the moment. The song is today's topic, justice.
The kid don't watch him, I have to change my behavior already, Hey, boy, this one I have to change my behavior already,
And to his right, one and only KG, music producer.
Yeah, man.
So, guys, let's get straight into it. Justice. Let's start off with you, KG.
KG, I squeeze it, I KG.
You see, this is. I look at the man.
Give the man name some justice.
I look at the man. I look at the man. I call him KG.
Hey, oh God, man, you
Right,
look at me.
Squeeze you.
I really believe now he really don't know me. He's one of them. You know me? Nah, you don't know me. You don't know me. I don't know.
Rainy weather. Waterman.
Waterman, he said, oh,
Water. You see? You're impressed there now. So tell us a bit about the song, Justice.
Justice. We want to know about this song. Let me explain this song. Yeah.
Tell me what is justice to you.
Justice.
I know the dictionary meaning. Tell me what is justice to you.
How I put in this now?
With words.
With words, justice to me is justice.
Nah.
Yes.
Justice can't be justice. So
right.
let
I
me
like
give
this,
an example. Justice is the enforcement of what we think is morally right. I just gave you an example, right? What we think is morally right or wrong, justice is the enforcement of that.
I see everybody else believe the morally right when they get justice. Sometimes justice for you is not justice for me.
Perfect. That is what what I wanted to pull out.
I tell you, this man trying to change my behavior on TV. That's not easy.
Right.
So all right. Even within my song, why I sang about it, when I say justice, everybody believe that it's just the mother and son, the mother crying for justice for her son, which is a fact. But then, if you listen to the song, they will hear us speaking about a lot of things with the son used to do in the community.
Right.
And now that he passed, the people in the community now believe, well, right, we get justice now because this man, this oppressor go on and leave we. Right, we have to go through this again. So, on the two ones, she was justice because, you know what, they kill my son or let too wicked, and these people here now glad, you know what? We get justice now because all the time we trying to talk to you for you to try and give us some kind of justice for this boy, and you never did it. So there's where, as you say, is what we believe is right, but sometimes a wrong thing could happen, man. It's justice for me and you.
So when we say, let's use that analogy with mother and son. So is it that when the son is killed, whether it be by the police or whether it be by a rival or by some other means, when they say justice, is it that she's now expecting that there's retribution? Is it that she's retaliation from? Is that justice? Is that justice of the police that always it's a wrongful killing?
Just know every mother, right, does expect justice for their child. When something like that happen, don't care how bad the person was, don't care how good the person is. Everybody expects justice. And not only mothers, sisters, brothers, right? We tend to just forget all the bad they do now, and decide, you know what, we want justice now. right? So that's why also when the song was written, it's like, now you're seeing where it's karma, right? Now you feeling how much other people feel, right? All the other people all the other parents and brothers and sisters, he make feel the way you feeling it now. This is how the thing does go, right?
So Squeezy, as you're saying that, right? You're saying even though they do something bad, people just forget what the bad, right?
Yeah.
Why think they forget and then after, KJ, wait, tell me, why think in that moment you just forget the bad?
Yo, that's like a mother's child. And when a child dead, you ever see that happen? You ever witness that?
Witness at the actual, no,
You ever witness that whole scenario?
yeah,
right.
yeah.
When a person, a woman bring forth a child, you know, right? It has nothing better than a mother's love, you know. A mother know how to love, you know. And when a mother see that child, look how old he is, he's always a child. And that feeling, what does get inside of them? Because as a sibling, you just feel it. Right? So imagine how it amplifies in our mom. So at that point in time, when she feel that, it had nothing more she want than the people who do this. I want the people who do this. I want justice for this. This is wrong.
Okay.
And I say, she forget everything else that he did or what people say he did. And the siblings do the same thing. Everybody else do the same thing.
But specifically, because I know in this song specifically, you speak about her mother's love.
Yeah.
So KG, tell me why did she forget all our?
As you say, our mother's love, and as Squeezy says, not just the mother, right? His friends, his family, his relationships. You might have a friend who in the gang life or who doing criminal activities, but you can't be bad 365 days of the year. So you'll have times where we would have good experiences with her mother, might have great experiences with her son. So she might remember the days when he was good. Or the girlfriend might remember the days when he bring flowers for she. Or the brethren might remember when he was there for him, when nobody was there for him. So when this youth who was committing all these crimes die, as much as we know that he was wrong for being the person that he was, we also know that he had a little bit of good in him too, you know. You know, so the pain will linger a little bit now, you know, so we will want justice now.
Yeah, what I say now.
You know?
He don't have to have no good in him. When she mother, that's she child. He don't have to have no good in him. That's she
But you
child.
think
You
it are
see,
people that had no good in them, Squeezy?
Oh God.
Asking you now, asking you.
Just now, before you go there, see what you're saying there? No, even if he didn't have no good in him,
Yeah.
a mother would still love, right?
Yes.
So when we were thinking about this topic today, I did some research, right, on why, right? If it have any scientific, if it have any physiological reasons why, and it have something called, hear this word, microchimerism, right? So I'm going to say that again. It's actually, the full name is fetal microchimerism. So fetal meaning fetus, a child, right? Micro meaning on a small scale. Now, a chimera is when you cross the two DNA or something, right? So what happens is during labor, especially in childbirth, some of the child's DNA is passed from the child through the placenta to the mother. Right. So the DNA of the child is actually now part of the mother. And research says it could last up to decades. Sometimes it could last the entire life, right? And the DNA coming from a fetus is a stem cell. And if you know what a stem cell could take the form of any cell. So when a mom get that, if she have any ailments, that's actually heal part of the mother. So one of the most famous research when I was reading is the mom had a little defect with her heart. And the DNA from the child actually came and repaired some of the heart. So I'm putting it that way now because if at a DNA level,
Microchimerism, you call it.
fetal microchimerism.
So we say that it's a man who I know slap them on that thing.
And she still love
She
them.
cry on them. She oh God, take that. And when them get bullet and they lie down.
Well, I kill my son.
That's all I came. She feeling like oh God, she balling or what because
So that means literally it's part of she.
But as you explain that, I understand what you're saying. Why let us do that? So I understand that. There's nothing, as a man is always saying, there's nothing but nothing are more great than a mother's love.
So
say that.
when we talk about a mother's love, right? A mother's love is a perfect example of what we also know as unconditional love.
Yeah.
Because even in a relationship, a man, a woman, woman and woman, whatever the relationships are these days, there's it's still conditioned because people break up all the time and things, and you move on, you find other love, and sometimes the real love is your last love, right? The person you end up with at last, and so unconditional love with a child, regardless of we always hear this word. He was a good boy, and as you said, he was a good boy in your eyes when he was with you, because I don't believe, Johan, say people are inherently born bad or evil. It's learned.
Yeah.
It's learned. It's societal. It's feral. It is in your environment. Sometimes it's how you survive. What you've had to do, and we've spoken about that many a time in some of these songs, the Trinidad genre. It is people talking about their reality. So as much as people outside, that's not their reality. They're not going to understand because they're not going through that.
Right.
So people are singing about what they know and what they see. You could only do that. I can't talk about something that I've not experienced. And so the unconditional love, regardless of what that boy or girl, man or woman has done, to them it's, yes, that has been committed, but the problem is the problem. The crime is the crime, but the individual, to them, it's still their child. Came out their womb. And also to a father, we keep talking about a mother's love.
You have a going to a father now. A father, most of the time, fathers just give tough love. A man getting locked up all the time. At that point in time, the father will say, but you see that, let he cool himself there because we spending money. The mother will still go behind the father back and bail him. You understand what I'm saying? Because, and that's straight what I'm saying is, a woman once upon a time tell me, she said, I thought I knew what love is. I knew what love was until I made my child. She said, I never loved nothing like my child. I thought I knew what love was. You understand what I'm saying? As I say, a father now, it doesn't hurt a father, It really hurt a father to see his son lying on the road. But,
But that's a father to a son, because a father and a daughter is a different relationship.
A father does go the distance for your daughter. Right? Yet still, that connection with a father and a daughter, it is not as at the level of a mother and his son. As
agreed.
What do you think? What do you want, Michael?
Fetal microchimerism.
Fetal micro. Do hard that with the father.
Think of a chimet.
You do hard that with a father.
Right.
But a father that show tough love. A father that show love in a different way. When you think on your mother, say sorry. Son, like you're thinking about your parents.
So even if the father is showing you tough love, the tough love still allows you to have discipline and to be shaped. So is it that we're talking about in the absence of that said tough love, which is necessary, is where we now have part of the problem that exists now, that there's no father figure in most of these environments.
To me, in this whole vibe, in this environment, part of the problem, or one of the main problem is ignorance with parents who split. Ignorance behind the parents who split. Because here what is going. Most of the time, people just want to spite one another when they split now. Right? And this is what has caused the churn and them to go down that road. Right? I have a 15-year-old right now, and she mother is. Well, I know going on with them these days because I see them in a while. I'd be in plain, I talking straight. You understand what I'm saying? But, and I witnessed that firsthand. She like to be wrong me because she own me by me. Right? She's get she mother little problems and things, whatnot. And that because me and the mother can't really see eye to eye on that level now. It's always an argument. I just try to stay away from she. Oh God, I can't take right now. This one. I be on that kind of level where she, understand me? I know as a fact, I have a 8-year-old son. I have a 9-year-old daughter, and then my first daughter is 15, right? And I know as a father, hey, this is the wrong thing you're doing. But you see, not to just, like how Bart Simpson fathers hold him and choke him. That's not to hold somebody and shake them. That's and this going on. I seen this going on a lot in society here today, right? Sometimes that's how sometimes too. If a child get in trouble, you as the father, like say you the father of the children, You are the train, but you and him mother have a relationship. But you could call him on and say, this boy get in trouble. I can't handle this. I don't know how you could deal with it. Where she could come now and I bring him, thing. And vice versa. That plenty, because plenty women are man in court. If I carry them train day, I ain't get no money. Money. All that'll be whole thing with it now. Right? And all this is part of the problem in society here today now. They my opinion, right? Because it's free. I don't have to pay for it. So I have my opinion. Right? If I was to pay for it, I might get tax and then I would right? But
by get version.
Yeah, in my opinion, there were eyes to be seeing going on in society today. Right? Plenty of the youth and them on the corner and thing. You just see them late in the night outside. You see some of them 14, 15 them outside late. Thing, what the parents at? Where the parents at? Popping pill, drinking, punching. Where the parents at? Right? Some of the parents and them too, they just lackadaisical out here. Real parents. So I just always say what going on in society today is we generation fault.
Of course.
How old are you?
Huh?
How old are you?
How old I look like?
Nah, don't answer a question with a question. How old are you?
I just kidding.
How old are you?
I'm 47.
Okay, so yeah, millennial, right? So that we fall. Okay,
that what?
I'm millennial.
Well, I don't know what it's called, millennial, Gen X and Gen Z. I don't know what's them thing.
Okay, I just wanted to see when you say is your fault.
No, it's we fault. Here why is we
Right.
fault? Here why is we fault? We grew up a particular way. And certain and moral values and whatnot. Now, we used to have chores and things before we go to school sometimes. Look how poor you is. Look how you had that. They used to instill them values in you. Morning, evening. You used to see these things going on. Don't care how poor you is, right? Now, we grow up and we say, you know what? I took water in a bucket to fill a barrel. My child is not to do that. So I go in and get a nice house. So you get up on a morning, she get up on a morning, put shower, hot and cold, whatnot, thing, flush toilet, thing. All I go to school, or the bed go make up.
I'm going to give my child everything that I
never
didn't have.
Right. But you give them everything you didn't have.
Except the hard.
But you ain't give them what you had. Respect and manners where you grew up with. You ain't give them that. You understand me? You say, no, I'm maxi, all of the fellas must still travel and think, but I just travel every day. I just travel. I sit on a maxi, sit on a taxi, I don't like that. But what I'm saying is, you sit on a maxi, you see these little children coming in, they're not saying morning, they're not saying evening.
True.
Right? I then still that to my trainer. Anytime I train going to a maxi, whatever, morning, evening. The last time I go in a maxi, my son say, good day, everybody. Nobody answer. So anybody say, hey, daddy, but these people are disrespectful. These people don't respect at all. I say, forget them. You do your part. Right? We reaching that stage now with people where people in their 20s and things like, you know, morning and evening and that manners, that courtesy. If I don't feel courteous, I tell you that, I'm not telling you that. Come the man. What is really going on? You understand?
So on that one, I want to thank you for your contribution, but we need to take a break. And but before we go to the break, as we say morning, afternoon, evening, one thing is a pet peeve. That is a time of day. That's not part of manners. That's not courtesy, right? Wishing me a good morning. Wishing me a good afternoon, and not morning.
Yeah, morning.
Like if I rather you don't tell me anything. If you're wishing me something, wish me a good morning, a good afternoon, a good evening, and if you're wrong, a good night. So with that one, we take a break, and we'll see you in a bit.
Yeah, man. Welcome back to Manhood. So, Squeezy, first and foremost, I just want to let you know that I'm proud of you. You know, yeah, of course, you know, I'm proud of you. I mean, I know Squeezy for a long time, you know, as a youth coming up in the industry. Squeezy is a legend to us, you know, to the dancehall fraternity, to the youths. But he know your music. He know rainy weather. He say he know rainy weather.
I know rainy weather. I know Waterman.
But Squeezy is really a East Side legend, eh? Squeezy is really one of we now, you know. Squeezy from Larketa, from Arima. So we grew up looking up to Isasha, Million Voice, the whole Larketa fraternity, and Squeezy was from that same community. So Squeezy was always a legend in my book for sure. Right, and we actually, yeah, of course, and I tell him
Any
that,
names he call?
yeah, I tell him that on my,
What names he call?
Isasha, Million
Hey, boy.
And I tell you that on my podcast, I say Squeezy is a legend. Squeezy actually tell me he's not a legend. He don't believe that. He don't believe he ever bossed before. All the kind of thing he tell me, try to downplay it.
I tell you that time, boss is one here.
Brother, your boss.
Tell you that.
Well, now your boss.
Which boss?
Now your boss.
He boss out.
Boss is
Boss
right.
out.
But I just want to let you know, bro, I'm proud of you. As we were saying off camera, we don't see the negativity come into play and all these things come into play when great men who have a voice don't do anything.
For real.
So when I see that Squeezy ranking, a man who had that influence in the dancehall fraternity, you know the kind of music you sing, you know, we listen to Rainy Weather and it's all kind
If
of
you coulda
different.
talk.
If you could have talk and
Tell
all kind
me,
of thing.
yeah,
and then you
yeah,
come with this positive song at the right time.
See, all they keep telling me about positive song. I've been singing positive song. I've been writing positive song. But you know what was going? It just fly over everybody's head.
But this one was perfectly crafted, eh?
Because I sing it as a
Timing.
calypso, you see.
Perfectly,
That way
yeah.
in carnival time.
Your boss.
Understand?
And they didn't bust
the
in a
video,
negative way.
everything, the video was proper. Everything was proper, Squeezy. Everything. That was I had to tell you.
Just
I'm
take
proud of
the
you.
props now.
Yeah,
All
I'm
right.
proud
Just
of
take
you.
it.
You make the right
Take
thing.
the props. I take the props. I take the props. For the KG was getting your flowers. I know he have a whole flower garden. He's
Yeah,
give
I
everybody
love
the
to give
flowers.
flowers, boy.
Everybody
Yeah,
give
I love to
flowers.
give flowers,
I don't know
boy.
what kind of flowers he gave mine, no, but he's give everybody.
Right.
And he gave
So,
that.
so Squeezy, what was that inspiration? What make you really decide to write that song?
What make me decide to write this song?
At this time, too.
At this time, a challenge. Somebody challenged me to do that. Somebody challenged me to write. You see, that tell us always write them kind of songs, right? And the woman who I'm with right now, she let me know, hey, well, I end up winning the extempo, not the extempo, but extempo now. On the extempo night, I have a new thing called the freestyle. A new category called the freestyle competition.
Mm-hmm.
So I went and I win that one. She was telling me, boy, you win the freestyle. And we was watching, this thing name, boy? Skinner Park now. She said, you win the freestyle. And why don't try this? And yes, now everybody tell me try that.
Yeah.
Father, but this is father, me so rest in peace, always tell me, why you write that calypso? My sister, my partner. Well, people used to tell me, well, because always, I tell her that always sing about social issues. I just never used to publish them.
Right.
Right? I always sing, so I go sing, so you remember Jen, I go sing it for you. But that bad, but so I ain't like go that. Nah, they want them people, they want to hear that. Cause thing they like to hear, all that kind of. So I sing the thing, you understand what I'm saying? But what I'm saying is, I decided I'm going this route with this song because the song that I have to release was a song called Talk the Truth. Right? And a partner of mine and the producer, they went, nah, though we ain't going with that one. We ain't going to talk the truth. Miguel, all of them tell me, nah, don't go talk the truth. Talk the truth.
Too true?
Not just too truth, you know. You see, they don't want it to be to people that say politically affiliated now.
Okay.
Right? So don't sing talk the truth now. Thing. Go with this one here. Now this one here was written because of the vibe, the energy. I had a song I did before called A Mother's Cry. And my partner tell me, boy, why you ain't do that song? I said, nah, this song sing from a perspective where I was younger now, when I was younger. And I talking about something that happened at that point in time. I said, I will do something like this. Right? And I sit down and I study it and I say, you know, things were going on here. I'm going through TikTok and I hear a youth man, and, them TikTok stars and them, one of them, we don't know the name, saying, boy, this woman thing and she was justice for she child. And I said, this song here. Because this going on too regular in this place here. This going on too regular, right? And the whole vibes of the home invasion, the extortion, all these kind of things when no artist in want to address. Because it's sickening, it's real sickening right now. And even if back then, a gangster in a community used to defend the community. Now these fellas offending the community, right? And that is not so I say, you know, I gonna take up this man, tell you who vex, who glad.
I was expecting the reaction I get though.
It have a part in the song that I particularly like that you highlight about the people who was who's robbed the old age people of the pension.
Yeah, tax.
That is madness to me.
Come on. By the Tambran ball lady down the road, she had to pay something when he you see everybody, all them sit at the shutters. Yeah, all them shop, all them bring things. Everybody had to give me some money, man, come. So I can live comfortably.
Whatever shutter you could be taking the Tambran ball lady one.
That's what I'm trying to tell you, my brother. A man sell the car up the road up, so he had to, well, I sell a car, send something. You had to send down something. Them thing is, that not the worker man who defending the community, G. That the worker community.
Is that even the work of a man?
Right?
I remember the show that we did, and he's talking about things that we just have to face in these communities. He's talking about bullying. He's talking about certain schools they would go to, the kind of bullying you might have to go through even in the community. I might come outside with a little chain, and a man might want to take that from me. So that force people to be a certain way now because they live in a community where Squeezy say you trying to sell Tambran ball and a man trying to tax you. It's not everybody willing to take that, you know. So some people would seek vengeance just by living in that community now. So, you know.
I want to talk a bit about that because as you mentioned, you know, and you refer to a couple things about you know, that's not a man. You know, as you coined it very well, that might be the whole thing, right? And we spoke about this on another episode where in back in the day you might have had what the Robin Hood phenomena or scenario. So if you're taxing this one, you're taxing that one, that's part of, you might say that's part of security. That's part of, you know, you're paying something for being in this community, but then you're giving back somehow. But what you're doing is you're buying something for yourself. You're no longer taking care of your community. You're you're quite right. You said, and I like it. You say you're offending, as opposed to defending the particular community. So when you come now and you say, like I said, the Tambran Wall, these people normally, when I drive through certain areas, and I see people set up shop, you know, I might stop and buy a pie. The other day, for the first time, I had, you know, and it was quite delicious, but before I never even thought about it, breastbone. You know, I had some breastbone out there, you know. It's breastbone, not so, yeah. But no, I'm admitting it, but it was nice. And when I talking to them, they would say,
breastbone.
Nah, don't do all that.
don't do that, right? You know, but speaking to them, they would say they no longer feel safe. They're from those environments, and they would say, listen, nobody in touching me in these areas. Now they don't have that. They no longer have that that safety net, that feeling. So I want us to really delve into that. But I also want to ask you where KG just left off with regards to your reaction to the reaction of the nation with regards to your song.
To this, but go on. I have to tell you, I custom singing. Some people like it, some people doesn't like it. I just get bashed real plenty with why they sing. Right? They say they used to say I real disrespectful all the time and all them kind of thing. Now they can't say that no more because the kind of people that I know and the disrespectful little artists and them that I know who they be. And you know what, they embrace them. They like the disrespectfulness, they love that. Although I always knew that time was coming. But this year now, where the old granny on the ground, the man in the church, everybody embrace, it's overwhelming. It's a different kind of feeling. It's something where I didn't expect. For me then. Remember I squeeze your rank, you know. Right?
I know who you are.
Nah, you don't know squeeze your rank. If you really know, I squeeze your rank, you know. As you man just go on stage and tell people smoke the mother. That's the kind of thing I just do, you know. So now I never used to do children's shows and things. They were asking me, come and sing a song in school. No, I don't do bouncy castle shows. I don't let know that. Right? Don't call me for no bouncy castle show. So now when I do this song now, I did this song and the speed and the way how I see everybody embrace it, it was well overwhelming. It's still overwhelming. And I'm glad to see that Trinidad and Tobago take to this song in this kind of manner. And it shows also that we want to stand up, but again, manhood is the name of the thing, but it didn't really have too much man again, you know. Right? It didn't really have too much man again. Because man for everybody is still not.
What is a man to you? Huh? What is a man to you? What defines
somebody
a man?
Who stand for something proper. That's a man. Right?
Correct.
Somebody who stand for something proper. This wrongs everybody touchy. Everybody, I want to say, this wrongs everybody touchy. Everybody like girl. The dressing like girl. The glasses like girl.
I hope you're talking about me.
Nah, man, when you are there. No. Everybody like girl. No, I mean no disrespect to but everybody. So you know, you supposed to be a man. I make a joke with you. Come on, a joke is a joke. But now everybody think. You want to go on social media. Hey, you think? Hey, all them kind of thing you'll be putting up with right through now as man. Then somebody say something about you and now if somebody says something that will hinder your job or your
Defamation,
your cash flow, your character, all these things, then you're all right. But sometimes somebody says something and it's talking up and you don't leave that. Man, hey, thing, everybody on views and likes. And I think views, likes, thing.
Well, you see, Squeezy, what you're saying there, it tie back to something you're saying before. You're saying that before a father would have pull up a child.
Yes.
Right? But now, because I seen it too, you know, even households where it have a two-parent household, it have many men who afraid to tell the children things. Right? They would allow the children to just do whatever the child wants, male or female. Right? And then kind of
shoo
Now you can't
about No, what I'm saying, everyone is afraid to tell a student anything because the student themselves might retaliate, but the parents, if you tell a child, the parents coming in, the school.
Not got in it. That time my sister called me, she said, she can't go in school for she son. She father can't go because I'm working and whatnot. So she called me. She said, if I could go and check it out for me as your uncle, so I gone. When I reach in the school now, the first thing my mama is the principal, not the principal, I mean the vice principal, they ask me, how much I pay you? I said, how much who pay me? How much them pay me to come and pose as an uncle? I said, sir, you're good on. You try and get my mouth off inside of this morning. I take out my ID, I show him. I said, check him on that last name and wait and check my last name. Right? Then he started talking. He tell me, well, I think my nephew was going to school. That sneakers, he's not supposed to go to school. And he tell him about it once, twice. But my nephew was a little footballer in the school, so you know them youth men as. I said, sir, this is what you want my sister to come in school for? Yeah, well, yes, you know. I said, all the teachers know something wrong with all the. You're supposed to have about 10 bomb spray line up there and just spray it. Right? Spray it. When his mother comes, show his mother the school rules and let you know, hey, this is what all they signed for. He not supposed to wear this in school. You didn't send a letter stating that he wearing this because his shoes thing or nothing. So why he come to school with this? And you know what I bet? None of them children ain't go to school with no thing shoe. But instead of that, plenty parents want to go and cuss.
No, but I like where you're going with that because when you started off saying it and you said that's what you wanted the mother to come in the school for. I thought you were going down the road of it's petty, right? And where I was going with the reason why I started to get a bit antsy or about that is because if what message would we send to the child at that point if we say they could get away with that? Because when they could get away with that, then they try something else and they try something else. But I like that you went down the road of no, I give you a warning.
Just spray
Go
it.
back to the things.
Yeah,
spray it.
No, I don't know how old the children is. I don't know.
No, but I agree with you because when
Squeezy,
I
let
went
me
in
just put it
school,
this
I
way.
same thing with me.
I'm the oldest person on the set.
All right, now I said I don't know how old everybody, but I have children going to school still, right? They're going to school. So I know dealing with this. My little son, he liked to fight. And he liked to fight. So I let him know, hey, you don't hit the girls. Don't hit the ladies. Right? Go and tell. And the boys, I say, hey, what's going on? I go in the school, the teacher have a long page. A whole page where he complains on my son. Now he just do his work. Most of the complaints, he defending himself. Right? At time, he and 5 boys get away. The gang bang him. That what he tell me. That is a gang bang me, I couldn't fight them. Before 2 I would have fight, but there's 5 of them. So I go in the school, I tell the teacher, no, I don't go in the school and no, as much as people want to see me out there, I don't go in the school like that. I don't go and do it because I understand I was small, right? And I understand as a person, as a man, I was small, and I made mistakes, right? So it have mistakes that children have to make. We as human beings, as adults, we don't prepare ourselves for the mistakes the children going to make. We just tell our child who never, all right, a child will think, you might see fire, you touch it. You're supposed to know better. How he or she will know better if they never touched it before, right? We believe children supposed to know better. If they experience something, we experience it already, so we know better. If they don't experience something, how they going to know better? And this is the mindset we have. Anyhow, when they go in school now, as a parent, 5 children, 2 parents come. The next 3 parents then never come. One keep the child home for the week. Them kind of shopping will be going on because them busy. You so busy, you can't come in school for your child.
What you're saying there, see, all the elements you're pulling together is systematic in terms of what we call crime, what we call bad behavior, even what you're saying there, because the same mother, using your song, the same mother, might not even go in school for she child.
No.
Right? But then when something happened, he was a good boy.
In the song they say, you never used to show no concern when they tell the boy out of control. Right? That's in the song.
Correct.
So we're talking the truth here on manhood, and the topic is justice, and we have to go to a break. But going to the break, Squeezy, I'm going to put you on the spot here. I want you to take us, looking at that camera there, take us with a verse from the song into the break.
Oh God, that's all right. Spit. Oh good, and let's see something.
You forget your song, man?
No. I'm gonna say the fourth verse. I'm gonna hit them. Understand? Right? My son was a good boy. The words of a mother. As he's laying down on the asphalt, bleeding out on the corner. She's calling on Jesus' name, asking why did they kill him? My son was a gentle soul. He never do nobody nothing. Then a man shout, woman, your son went on a banging in a stolen vehicle. Why you feel the next team swing back? The boy killed 3 people. Speeding off at the scene he went on. A little girl get bounced down. Yet still she's saying heads have to roll for the ones who take she son's soul. Mama good son, just get gone down. Oh, mama good son, no get gone down. I know she crying out for justice.
Welcome back to Manhood. Today we're discussing justice. On my right we have Squeezy Rankin, KG, and we have Robert. So, coming back from the break, we were talking about exactly the inspiration behind, and we're putting together some elements that may tell us the story of even why the state of the country we are today in terms of the crime. And we highlight in terms of the parenting. And we know sometimes people blame the child, but of course the child grew up under the parents. So therefore the parents have, at least until he's 18, right? After 18, you can start to make your own decisions. But before that, it's based on the parent. And we understand too, even though nobody perfect, and it have good things people will do, if a child or somebody doing something bad, other people will experience those bad things. They might not experience the good things. So the people on the outside would ask for the justice. The people on the inside would know some of the good things, and they want justice also.
Justice for you is different for justice for me.
Right.
And those people, it is very, and I want to remind people about fetal microchimerism.
Yeah, fetal.
Fetal.
That's a word I have to do some
microchimerism.
some deep diving on. But as we talk about justice for you and justice for me, it always reminds me of an analogy I heard once with 9/11 in New York. Of course, with the Taliban, etc. And Bin Laden, and they referred to that to the Western world, to the most of the world, that was terrorism. But where they left and where they came from, their families, that's martyrdom. And it's always the difference in dynamics as to who is seeing what. The outlook. So like as you mentioned, Squeezy, to the mother, whether it be we use words, it comes from fetal microchimerism, whether it comes from there, whether it comes from unconditional love, whether it comes from the fact that what they've experienced, whether it be the mother, the family, being a good boy in terms of good to them, and they've not seen that side, because I don't believe people are entirely bad or evil or born in that particular way. And so the justice for them is that when something happens, how could that happen? And I want justice. But to the person, as you mentioned, the experience, maybe they've killed several persons. The pain that those other mothers and those other families, those children who now don't have a father to be able to give them tough love, they're also now crying out for justice or now have justice.
That's the next thing too, you remember? But back in the day, right? When the father not wrong, it's still had an uncle. It's still had, nowadays people alienate themselves from the family and all that. I don't know dealings with nobody. They alienate themselves from everybody. So now it had nobody around to really help out in a situation like that now. Right? I remember a time I had a nephew was getting in real trouble and thing, and my brother-in-law was telling me, boy, if that was my nephew, I'd deal with thing, what that. So I had to go and kind of deal with him now.
Right.
You know, when he was younger and thing. Yeah. I just had to give my nephew them that props. They ain't walk that side. You know, and I'm real glad for that, to see that come out of them. And I had a brother who was on that side, so I know what it is to lose a sibling to that kind of violence and that kind of life, right?
And
But
that's what a man and a father figure is for, you know, to instill some sort of framework, some sort of standard. Now again, your kingdom is not my kingdom, and KG and Robert. It might have different rules, but the point is it have rules and you instill it. And what we were talking about this day and age, that people do instill things into the children. People
No.
do instill any sort of standard, right? It's just kind of whatever happen. And this is the symptoms of it, right? And then I want to add a next element, as you were saying, the list before, of the reasons why you would just say is a good boy or you're looking for justice. One thing I also notice is shame, right?
Yes.
You're feeling shame. You know, whoever it is, whether it's mother, whoever it is.
Shame and pain.
Now, let me go into pain yet. Just shame alone. You know, because you read a seat in school, you're embarrassing me. Why are you going on so? So instead of, you know, the
Boy,
wrong that your
yeah,
son do,
kid, yeah.
or you know wrong that your child do, instead of acknowledge it openly, you're feeling shame about it, so you say, nah, he was a good boy.
I see my daughter do something my time in school, and she might think you only trying to make me feel shame. Thing. I ain't let him know, hey, this is not about you, no, this about the child.
Correct.
This is not about you
See where
feeling
you
shame.
said it? Correct.
This about the child.
But there's also an element of pain, because when they've now lost that boy, regardless whether you see it as a good boy or in certain other people's eyes a bad boy, it's their son. They now have to, for the rest of their life, go through that pain, that grief, to what their connection was with that child. And of course, I don't think in any remote illusion or delusion that they are like, well, you know, I'm happy he did what he did. Or, you know, they would have wanted a different life for their child, and probably to provide a different life. And so they still have the pain and shame of the shame maybe not providing certain things for that child, or a different path of being able to get through to that child, but also the pain of
It's still a loss.
It's still a loss.
No, it's our mothers, ladies who lost sons to this kind of violence, and they just try to talk, they just try to reach out to other young men and them know, hey, this is not the road to walk, you know. And I respect that. I give them a round of applause anytime, because they just always come out and say, hey, this is not the road to walk, and try the best, because they know the feeling they had now when that happened. Right? But then they are the ignorant one. I thought plenty of ignorant people, you know. When we mean, so, you see, in life we just talk about ignorant and talk about somebody ignorant. And we just have to understand what ignorant is. When you see ignorant, we feel people in no education and all that. It's a real educated people out there just ignorant. Right?
Actually, that's arrogance, but you go ahead, right?
I want, as you said that, as you talk about educated people, I want us to, because we talk about justice, now the song in itself would have been about a lot of what we've spoken about in the last two segments, but justice overall, because there's justice for example, if you're working for a big institution or organization, or even a small organization,
right,
there's just, let's talk a bit about the justice inside of there, whether it be sexual harassment, whether it be wrongful dismissal, whether it be, you know, organizations themselves having to tolerate people who manipulate the system, be it through unions or taking advantage of some of the systems that are in there, and knowing how to basically simply take advantage. The justice inside of it.
Yeah.
Well,
I'm not
just
from no union or nothing like that, so me don't know justice.
No, but you might have feel.
Well, I say, well, everything just if it's not paying me the right, I want to be justifiable.
Correct.
I want my justice.
The justice of all the other songs. They took your calypso to sing.
I want my money. I want to get my raise. I want my pay. But again, as I say, nowadays people don't stand up for nothing now, boy. Everybody does. But you see what's it happening to me, and hitting your doorstep, and reach your doorstep and yourself, no, right? You work in an institution, as you say, and you find the pain, right? But then nobody don't want to talk about that because why? They're afraid to lose the work.
But then, say for example, to the person who's looking on, you talk about justice, and I'm seeing you say you decide, okay, I'm gonna picket, I'm gonna set up a demonstration, and I see you there beating and everybody smiling and laughing and joking. How, as an onlooker or even as a business, how am I seeing any sort of angst in you? Am I seeing any sort of pain or drama or hurt or sadness? There's nothing. I seen like a typical Trini line happening. No, but I'm just saying, asking for a cause.
Well,
when you look at a protest in say France or another country, you're not seeing smiling. I'm not seeing resort to violence, but I'm saying it's a message that you're sending out. It can't be that we're doing something and then just using it as hey, we have some nice placards, we have some nice, very creative ways of saying it, but the expression on my face, and at the same time to the employer, yes, you have protest, but one, work ain't getting done, and on this, and also the word I'm looking for, I don't know why, but you get where I'm coming from, the outlook. The optics is what I'm saying. The optics at that point.
Justice, the execution of justice shouldn't have a format, because we talk about justice is different justice for you, different justice for me. So therefore, the way of executing the justice can't be the same. So if picketing, right, you're out and protesting for a certain issue, that could work. But it have something different. Remember when we had the worldwide roadblock, right? That could be a form of protest. They knew what to do to get the result they wanted, right? It had workers turn off the lights. If let's say the people who in charge of the lights and they wasn't getting the pay, they turn off the lights. The people who in charge of the water, if you understand, justice.
The garbage men pick up no garbage.
Right. The garbage men pick up. Justice can't have this one format. Right? You have to understand what is the injustice you gain and understand who you gain the injustice from. So therefore now you choose the correct method to do that.
Definitely.
But you mentioned something squeezy as well, and I want to talk about that as we talk about justice. Most people want to see justice.
Yes.
Most people are waiting. I feel like a domino effect. Everybody's waiting on somebody else to kickstart this thing. And also from a position of safety to know that, listen, and that's why I asked you about what was the impetus, what got you to write this song and come out and make a statement.
The injustice that's being done to the people of Trinidad and Tobago by a small group of people, the injustice that's being done to them.
And you had that drove that, and I'm saying that everybody, it reminds me of a friend of mine, as I mentioned in our show before, where I walked, like you knew my dad, I walked a marathon when he was alive to completed a marathon, and at some point you go through a severe amount of pain, especially if you didn't train as much. 26.2 miles. So going from Freeport in St. Mary's Junction to Whitehall in Port of Spain. And there's pain that unbelievable. I can't even describe it that you go through. But my why was knowing that my dad was waiting for me in the savannah to greet me, right? And that drove me, and knowing that only after the 20 miles would I then get money for him. Everybody's go to the 20 miles, right? Because they think, and I'm saying to you, that why is so key. And to people who may want to do something and stand up and say something, they need to be driven to find that why. It has to reach to a point that almost survivability. That they know that, right now it might be a case of, now, boy, if I say anything, I might lose my work, or I mightn't get a pay raise, or this person mightn't like me. And it's not enough to get them to really make a stand. And I'm not telling anybody to riot. I'm not saying anybody it's peaceful protest. But
No,
it hasn't
do what is necessary.
it
to
hasn't
get what
reached
you
a
want.
point. Like even as I said, Gandhi had to reach a point. Jesus had to walk into the temple and share licks. We haven't reached to that point as yet that it impacts them in a particular way, because they could still go to their gated community, you could still go somewhere else, you could still get food, but to another person in these communities that we speak about, and we speak about justice, but it may reach a point to them that they have no water, they have no electricity, they have no good roads, they have no this. So they're doing what they need to do.
You see how going? People had no road, no water, and then people just adapt to them thing. One time, people just adapt to that. Right?
No.
When you,
The word is cope. Right?
Cope. All right, cope.
But cope is a negative thing, eh? No, but here it is. Squeezy. Cope is not a positive thing, eh?
Yeah, people just
Right,
cope.
go ahead.
People just tolerate it. That's
Right,
A
right.
coping mechanism.
But when we talk, you see, you're speaking about how the justice of people. You know what justice we want? We want to see corruption get take down in this country properly. That's the justice of the people.
Yeah.
When corruption from the top can mash up. Because there's already plaguing Trinidad and Tobago, how everybody crying out for justice, corruption, all the big people, all the big man inside of here, the manhood, big man inside of here, all of we know the problem.
Yeah,
Corruption.
it's like, for example,
High white collar corruption. We know that going
That's
on.
why I
We
said
know
I didn't want you
that-
just to keep focusing on the
that-
communities.
that-
I want
yeah.
the
that's
SOE,
what-
like the
that-
SOE
let
going
me
on
hear
right
it, let
now,
me hear it.
and the SOE only affecting one group of people.
Right?
You understand? But the reality is that I know where the crime is alone. As he say, white collar crime. The SOE not bringing down that now. The SOE bringing down the little ghetto youths and them, and people fed up with that. People
But-
frustrated with that. You know, like just for me to reach here this morning, I had to be looking out for police because I know anytime a police officer see a youth like me and pulling me over and everybody getting to go. I mean, I accustomed to that. You know, I show Squeezy accustomed to that. People are accustomed to that. I reached that point now where it's like we fed up of that now. We want justice for everybody. We ain't saying loud the little youths and them as he say, mama, good son, just get gunned down. And we know exactly why you get gunned down. But I want to call no names or anything. We don't be too political, but it has certain things that's going on. You know, certain people would be in politics and they would have children or family members and they would be doing the same crime. And blatantly, we would see that them still out of the jails, them still living the normal life, everything going on. SOE come, they ain't raiding all your house, all in not in Westmoreland, all in nowhere there, all in the ghetto harassing we. And that the justice that we looking for now.
KG, who you
Yeah.
want to enforce that justice for you? Who you think should enforce that justice?
I mean, it's like, it's so deep, but it's so simple, as I say, just me driving here, a police officer with a certain rank feel like he could just advantage me
Right,
because...
but what you tell me, you say
know,
asking for justice. Who you think should execute that justice for you?
the system, you know, the people in
Now,
higher
but
places.
but Dan, is the system
You know,
how we saw
yeah.
it?
Right.
So
No, listen.
So, I'm going to make a
right.
suggestion. You see how I was saying justice had to be tailored to who we getting the justice from. And I'm saying this because Martin Luther King, right? When he started his movement, he was more the peaceful guy, right?
Yeah.
But what he did was he say, well, it's all we just take the bus and it's always get them money. So let me just stop take the bus. Let we carpool or we walk to work. So they didn't shoot nobody, they didn't mash up nothing, but they decided who they're targeting because they wanted justice from, and then they did what is necessary. Now I'm saying that because our history in Trinidad, we come from a history with slavery of passive resistance, right? And passive resistance had its merit. And that's why I'm real glad you use our Calypso format for your song, because Calypso was one of the early forms of passive resistance also. Because it was used to, in a kind of joking way, but it's to get the message across. So I'm saying that because many times we're trying to fight justice hard instead of trying to fight it smart.
Yeah, and I'm glad they say that because when Squeezy dropped the song, and you will know this too, I am in a lot of WhatsApp groups with a lot of creatives, soca producers, artists, managers, everybody. And that song didn't go viral because it was just a good song, That song went viral because we came together as a collective and say, hey, we pushing Squeezy to the
Correct.
top. While they hear this song, we need this to reach out there. And we start to push it out. Squeezy, you know that? You in the group, you see the conversation. People
Well,
will
I was
say,
in the
hey,
group, all of that's for me in the group.
well, I see you come in the group after and say thanks everybody for the support.
I was never in a group, or put me in a group. respect
we
still.
had to put you in the group. You understand? But
Right.
we made a conscious decision to.
Or that's what I mean,
What's the word they call?
Yeah.
What's the word? Protest.
Right.
But we didn't protest in a violent way.
No,
we
but-
didn't,
and-
we know where we was going with
So,
it now.
KG,
you know?
what you saying there, I love that because that is what men supposed to do, right? If men have a common goal, you
Better
don't have
as
to fight.
brothers.
You don't have to fight nobody. You don't have to use violence. Now, if violence is necessary in a position, you use it. But if you're playing chess, you don't
Correct.
always use your queen. Right,
Correct.
you could use the pawns, you could use different things. You decide the way you're going and get our justice. Now, I'm saying this to even to the nation. If you all know you have injustice somewhere, you have to decide to do it in the way that will work. Right? If burning a tire not working, try something else. If protesting not working, try something else. But as you say, it's a conscious effort. So the point is to try, not just as you were saying, to just allow things
allow it.
to happen.
You see,
So-
right now, but what I'm saying, right? Trinidad and Tobago, when you talk about Martin Luther King and how peaceful they protest and the things they did, come on, you know that going to work here no time.
Right,
Here
but
why.
I'm not saying that but you find the method that
Here
works
what I'm
for
saying.
you.
Here what I'm saying. Here why. Remember, we get brainwashed long time, you know. I not song like no Rastafari man and thing and Selassie or that, but we.
You don't have to dread to be Rasta.
No, what I said, you know, we as a society get brainwashed a long time. We doesn't want to admit that. Because, all right, let me, as you, that nice thing you say, no, this affect we, let me do buy this. Hey, all I want to buy it, I can buy it. I can afford it. You want to show that, hey, I can afford this. And not you can afford it. We're not buying it because it is for no reason. Right? The owner of the grocery or the owner of the business, he buy a brand new Benz and he want we to pay back for his Benz. So he raised the thing. Right? Look something like what you did. KFC the thing and
You catch up.
telling and everybody say, you see what KFC do? They bring back the pump. And nobody in Trinidad don't watch that. All this thing was going on here in
Now
Trinidad.
we watch it. I was observing that.
That's
Don't worry.
you. I don't, sorry, not nobody. Sorry, a lot of people in Trinidad. They say, what I mean, they look at how peaceful that protest was,
Right.
and they got results. Right. So as you say, we can get results for a lot of things in this country if we do the right thing and everybody get together under one collective now. But we not get.
It has to matter. It has
Nobody
to
in a
matter.
carpool. They
It
say
has to
carpool.
matter enough.
Yeah, you say carpool. Now I want no money in my car. How much I pay for my car? I don't want money in my car. In my car. Right? When I buy a car, I fall on the carpool. They cannot.
Right, no, but you see, the mentality is based on the masses. You
Yeah.
can't ask the masses to do things. What you do is you ask the leaders to lead the masses to do
Correct.
things. So we're not talking to the masses, you know. We have 4 leaders here in the room, and we're talking to men who are leaders also.
Correct.
KG have his niche, you have his niche, I have my niche, Robert have his niche, and men out there have their niche. You as a leader, you know, you can't ask the masses for things. Like, let me just give you an example.
Sheeples, they call it. Yeah?
A
Somebody
mentor of
that-
mine had given me an example. He said years ago, I don't know if you remember Charlie for the trash.
Garbage
When
chase Charlie away.
Right,
Yeah.
chase Charlie away. When Charlie, that campaign was out, it had children, people was afraid to litter, you know, because
Yes.
Charlie was coming for you. Now, that is a campaign that was something a leader put out. Now we have social media and thing. We couldn't influence people. So KG say he and some men come together in a group and push you. If you understand what
I
I'm saying,
understand exactly
right?
what-
So every leader have the thing they
And
could
that is not
use
something that
and
we was
influence the
always
masses.
doing, eh? You know,
Correct.
so when we do it and we see the result from it, I know was like, look how easy it is. Even with Trinidad Killer and the whole thing that's going right now,
That is it.
people
That
pushing
is it.
this
So-
man to the top. You know, so
That is something what
we had to
we
come
did. I
together.
suggested that a long time with other men,
Yeah.
but other men were like, why getting out of that?
Right,
That mean that-
and
that's
lead them
everybody
alone.
think.
Lead them alone.
Why
Remember,
get-
leaders in the minority, they're not in the
we make a
majority.
decision to change this thing too. So
Correct.
it's a
This
conscious
is a
decision.
very rich conversation.
Yeah, it is.
Right? A rich conversation, but the time is the
Yeah,
time.
for sure.
Right.
Right? and I know certain gentlemen have no idea of time, even though he's been on the show for over 50,
I think we
60
cover a lot. I
episodes,
think
right?
we cover a lot.
So, no, but what I want to close. I want to close, of course, everybody giving their thoughts, but there are a couple things that I can't close without addressing it. And one of the things is, a couple of things, and please allow me just to ventilate the thought and then ask for a response. In your case, and I go to say KJ, but I know it's Squeezy, right? Out of kicks, right?
KJ ranking.
The thing, Squeezy, is
I was like, you call me ranking.
you in what you have done. The irony is that out of what we, there's always this thing in Trinidad and Tobago that no matter what happens, we are carnival. We are, we're drinking, we are place our party.
Yeah.
And the irony is the one thing that makes us, almost sedates us, for lack of a better word. And as long as it's done during the carnival period or afterwards, we get to band launch and all the rest of it, nothing really gets said or done in a big way.
Right.
And the irony is where carnival comes from. As we talk about slavery, it was out of a protest of people having, it was too much. It was beyond bearable,
Right.
and as a result, there was riot, there was protest, and then we have the tambu bamboo and the other aspects of it. I can't really recall some of the names now, and also and I want to segue to your thing, crazy to Squeezy, where we speak about Calypso and what Calypso was. I spent a lot of time with Sparrow, and to understand even how his name came about in terms of the mighty Sparrow, how he was treated among the names like Roaring Lion back in the day. And he came about and he started to break the mold and started to dance, and they say, well, you only prancing about like a little sparrow. And then when he started to win is when he said, well, if I'm a sparrow, then I must be a mighty sparrow. And that's how that name came about. And I'm saying that what it was about, it was a movement. It was where you would come to hear what is happening in the land. And so when you came and you said to us at the start, off record, that when you talk about Talk the Truth and other songs and so on that you have in your arsenal, so
Like
to
a put on
speak,
record.
it is ironic that the Calypso that you said took people to know nationally who Squeezy Rankin is when you sang a Calypso. But it is the Calypso at the heart of it is came about by talking the truth,
Yes.
by to singing about justice.
Yes.
So it should be no surprise to you. And I also want to touch on the fact that you said, KG, when you said about justice outside, white collar crime and the SOE, is it then, and I wanted to address this because it touched a point that I want to hear more about. Is it that we're saying then that in those communities, people are seen as casualties of war because they're not addressing the source or persons that could change the system? It is, okay, well, I can't get to that source, so let me make examples and I will do what I have to do, and then hopefully by that happening, change may come about.
Yeah,
is that what it?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, and I can only speak for myself, and other people are wrong. I know we feel the same way, as in, I think I said this the last time I was on the show too. I feel many times like an innocent man locked up in prison because of the system attacks one group of people for whatever reason. And sometimes we will get caught, with the whole Trinidad industry and all these things, we will get caught in the crossfire, knowing that we're not doing anything wrong, but still have to get caught up because the main, give me the word, the main objective is always to attack one group of people. So I feel like an innocent person in prison, but it's almost even more heartbreaking to look outside and see other people that we know, the country know, the system know, doing excessive amount of crime. But everybody just turning a blind eye to it. And that is the hurtful part. So yes, we do feel like casualties to a corrupted system and casualties to Peter pay for Paul. So if we see these youths in the Trinidad industry who ever commit crimes, KG now is a criminal too, because all of us one. It's like we divided in two. That this side of the country and this side of the country. Wherever side you land on, justice. Justice for them, no justice for we. And that's how we does feel.
Your thoughts?
If you want justice, you have to be honest about exactly where the injustice coming from and what exactly is your capability, right? And also, as men, we can't do things alone. We could only reach so far alone. So if it have a movie called A Few Good Men, right? If it have a few good men able to do something and not just fight, but think about it, be honest, and come up with the correct strategy to get whatever justice, then we'll be able to face it. Men who watching, every man know in his family, in his community, in his job, the reality of things. And I'm not saying that you have to change everything, but at least choose one thing that you could stand up for, and you could spend your rest of your life committed to standing for that one thing.
Yeah. I can say one more thing before we cut.
Sure.
Just this morning, I was watching a little podcast, and they was talking about great men create easy times, and weak men create hard times now. And I feel like that is the era that we're going through right now. Like our parents and probably our grandparents, whatever, they were strong men, and they created it easier for my generation, or all their generation, as the millennials, whatever you want to call it. And these men were weak men, and now we're going through hard times because weak men don't stand up for nothing.
And the hard times is Billy Strong.
Let me just clarify that point before we go to Squeezy. So it's not that great men are a bad thing. But as you mentioned in earlier in the show, where we spoke about if I grew up having to tote water, I don't want my child now to tote water.
Yeah.
Right? Now, not wanting your child to tote water is not the problem. The problem is when you don't now bring across all the other values that would come across
nothing.
with chores and knowing what hard work is and dedication and the value of money.
Correct.
And if you bring those things across as great men, then what you do is you allow for continuance of greater men.
Correct.
But it's when you remove those and you just like give your child a golden spoon, so to speak, is when we now start to encourage weak men because they have the luxury items and they're not doing certain things, but they have no idea how it came about.
Definitely.
And so therefore they can't value it.
Definitely.
Squeezy,
Correct.
I want you to take us out with a teaser into that verse that's so apt to what we've discussed here on this show.
What verse is that? You know, easy, you know, you mean that. Spare the rod and spoil the child. That's the trend nowadays. That's all again.
Perfect. You see that verse is for Skinner Park.
Spare the rod and spoil the child.
No, you see, but what's going to I know we had to leave now and I want to say something here. I didn't expect people to take to this song so good because we have a way. We like all our like they play naive now, right? And because of that whole
dotish.
Well, all right. I really want to say I ain't gonna say it because you're gonna beep it out, but we like to play naive, and because of that, I didn't expect people to take to this song in this manner because you're seeing things going on. And then people still play, that going on? I didn't know that. That the things with people that be saying, that happening? Where that happening? Yeah, wait, I didn't know that. You know. So yeah, so that why we as artists, right? Now a lot of artists that sing songs pertaining to the crime, pertaining to the injustice, pertaining to moral values. A lot of artists that sing these things, you know, but it's in the manner in which they sing it. Sometimes it don't connect with the people or resonate with the people, and that's just the problem with the musical aspect of the thing. Because if the artists and them start to speak out, right, we have a voice, and then if the radio station and them too, no disrespect to the radio station, you know, but the radio station and them too really take this thing serious, right? And the songs with the messages, you know, himself only have a program for that alone. You know, I cannot play. But, you know, everybody is money, everybody is lime, everybody is, you know, no disrespect to nobody, but they how it is now. Right? So the people doesn't really get to hear the songs with the message now, boy. It doesn't reach the right set of ears. Right? We as artists need to ruffle the feathers right now. Right? I know a lot of men afraid to ruffle feathers because plenty of them are political allegiances and whatnot, and the other little or endorsements and all these things. So people would not say nothing about it. I don't want none of that. So I don't understand how to say what I had to say. Right? I had to say what I had to say, and Trinidad and Tobago, we need to start to stand up. Justice.
That is it.
Justice and Squeezy talking the truth. And I know you're gonna give me A verse from Talk the Truth.
You have verse from that?
A
You
verse
sure?
from that, yes.
You sure?
Yes.
It didn't transfer yet how it's up in the Calypso format, eh? So you still have it in the next format. But going like, you sure? This whole place out harder. You know it eating out the car from inside just like a cancer. And every youth will be a monster. So now they make up their mind to rock under a number. Enough time the belly burning. But the happy like the joker, cause they just do a banging. And politicians pretend to know nothing once they get the zakat from the racket where they're running. We know the code from a long time. Police don't lock nobody up for white collar crime. So they thief a lot and they call the shots and throw the blame on the youth them from the block. But we don't know from inception, no rich boy criminal don't even see the station. The in charge of crime in Trinidad. Yet still they blame it on Trinidad. Talk the truth. My daddy always tell my son, talk the truth. Say anytime you pen a song, talk the truth. Let your voice be heard. Let them know that the truth is the word. The same bad men they condemn. When election time come, he's the politician best friend. And when they walk through the area, he's not no gangster no more. He's a community leader. They are the guns in abundance. And the powers that be don't really give a damn about that. They only care about the kickback from all the URP goes and the box drain contract. Police and all will turn a blind eye once they get the percentage of the crime pie. Cause they kiss the are the wealthy class, as politicians and gangsters knock the glass. So all is concerned about guns and violence from the powers that be, we don't know that's nonsense. While they use them bust the gun and make the mischief. The men on top saying crime is a business, talk the truth. My daddy always tell my son, talk the truth. Say anytime you pen up.
Talk the truth.
Fine.
Every artist in Trinidad and Tobago, is afraid to stand up for their rights, A lot of money is being spent in the studios, and no one wants to stand up for what's going on, I'm gonna do it. You know why? Because we now work with Not Now. We now play with June. For Steven. We now play with June. For Rasha. We now play with June. Somebody tell me what I want, how we name it for Father. We now play with June. For Carter. We now play with June. For Busy Seek now.
Manhood, brought to you in part by Solomon's Bespoke.